easy go.
Right guys, this is going to be a video showing you how to do the 100k Nightfall score for this week. Now there's 3 Nightfalls in rotation: inside terminus, Cargan, Exodus Crash and Savathun song. So we're going to start with Exodus Crash, since this has been a bugged Nightfall for almost a year now. Plus the strike itself's been reworked. So I'll show you the modifiers I advise. So we're running a 10 handicap, solar singe, extinguish, momentum and match game. Match game's the big one, of course. So we're running a 10 handicap because we're well over 340. So we thought we would put a handicap on there. You can up the handicap the more you are over 540. So just showing the loadout here, we have RD as a Dawnblade. He's running a void energy weapon with sleeper simulant. He's got lunar boots on also. Unknown activity. He is running. He's going to be our tether, our support class with Orpheus Rig, of course. Also, he has sleeper simulant on and a arc special. As for me, I'm also running Dawnblade with a arc Mananan. So I've got an arc special and sleeper simulant. So we all have sleeper simulant on. Take advantage of solar singe. And we're having 2 arcs and 1 void, as there's a lot of arc shields, but there's void shields at the end, so you need to balance out your special weapons because of match game. If you haven't got your energy weapons right, it's going to be hard when you've got match game on, but it is good to have match game on because of how much multiplier you get off it. From the get-go, I go ahead and start collecting the pulse waves. And then start working on some of the ads. It's best to try and kill everything you can at the start. What you can do is have 2 people on ads and 1 guy just collecting all the pulse waves. That's a good start. Also, there'll be different rotations, so you can either have the Vex rotation, which you see here with all the fanatics, or you can have the full-on Fallen edition where there is no Vex, like on this start bit. It's just Fallen dregs on pikes and snipers. Not sure what's the better rotation for score. I don't think it matters really because there's a lot of ads in this Nightfall, so it is actually a good one for score. Once the first set of pulse waves are done, another set will spawn, which will be the last set, and then there'll be ads. There'll be a lot of ads up top, and there'll be a major fallen captain stuff. You just want to delegate to those shields, call out your shields to your teammates. So that's what I can say. That's why we're running double arc. As there's really no point in running double void arc because there's not much void until the end. Plus we have tether, which is going to help with void shields. You can also balance this with your subclass, so you could have run a Stormcaller or match your subclass to the burns, stuff like that. So now we have a void shield, so at this point I'll be calling out my teammate to take down the void shield. Then we could take him out with sleeper or whatnot. What we notice here is we forgot to get all the pulse waves, and you need to get them all for the next set of ads to spawn in. But once we do that, you can spawn trap them. If your Night Stalker does have a tether right now, which they probably won't, but if they did, this is a really good time to tether. Well, because we went pretty quick, didn't have a tether just in time. Yeah, I forgot match game was on, see how much Sleeper Simeon doesn't do any damage. You always take the shield down first. Now we're approaching the plate room, which for some might be the most difficult part. But like with a tether, it isn't. As long as you've got a night, I always advise when you're doing a score run, the main thing is having the Night Stalker and then 2 Roman supers with that. You could have maybe a sniper on for shields also. The reason why I'm running a scout, and a lot of my teammates are as well, is for ammo. We're not looking to do high DPS because we're going on score, so Sleeper's going to be mainly for high priority targets, boss damage, and we're just going to be using our energy for shields and our primary for adds, and mainly supers because we're always having tethers for orbs. So having double primary is a good, actually a good loadout for Nightfall scores. So now we're on the plate room that I was talking about. Again, this rotation can be different. We got the Vex one. All Nightfalls now do that, where they rotate their different alterations that they get. It's kind of hard to cover them all in one. But they're very similar in that you're basing it around the tether, making sure that you're killing as much as you can. It's a good time to super in this room also. So right there we killed the 2 servitor bosses, literally with supers, and we took them down easily enough. The key point is that you always need somebody standing in the circle, because if you say have all 3 outside the circle, the progress will stay, and the add spawns are based on the progress. They won't just keep spawning or anything, so you need to have at least one guy standing in the circle. Oh, another good thing while I'm watching it, we get our Hydra to spawn. So the Vex rotation, I'm going to go ahead and say it's better than the Fallen rotation. Although on the Fallen rotation I know you'll get heavy shanks, I know that for a fact. I don't think they're as good.
Those shanks were using your circuits as arc weapons.
The Fallen are worse than the K6.
Oh, he's
So once you basically clear up all the room, and then we come into a pulse waves again. Now the key thing with this next part is, if you look at the bottom right hand side of the screen, I'm on a 3 times multiplier and then I go to 0. This means you can't earn any score in this section, so you're wasting your time killing any adds here. What you want to do is delegate a guy to the left pulse waves and then a guy to the right pulse waves, and you just want to basically clear these pulse waves as quickly as you can. If you don't have your super and that happens to be a public event flag available to rally it, then you can get your full heavy and super up. I say that because often I'm in Exodus, there'll be a flag up, and there is a flag actually, but I had full super, full heavy, so I was good. So we're still on a 0 multiplier, and it's gonna maintain that until we kill this tank. So we're not gonna get any score for it. So the key for us was just to melt down the tank as soon as we can, because this is kind of wasting our time. And as we know, by the time we get to 15 minutes, the multiplier will half, and then when we get to 18 minutes, we actually lose score and can't get any more score at all. We melt the tank with Sleeper, take many shots, and then we go to the next room. Now the next room for us, I don't know whether this is always, I've run this Nightfall a couple of times, and generally there's a wanted target here, and I do think it's worth killing him. He had a solar shield. They're very tanky, these wanted targets. If you have plenty of ammo, plenty of sleeper and stuff, or spindle, you can run a whisper. Also, I just think whisper's not as suited for this one because when we get to the boss, he's always in V's, and he's very hard to crit. I just think sleeper's an easier weapon to use. It's important as well to clear out all adds in this room, just to get as much score as you can. You see, we're on 9 minutes and we're on 86k already, so it's not super crazy to get the 100k. It all depends on your light. If you're below 540, say the adds have swords on them, then it's going to be harder. Don't put any handicap on, just run the modifiers. If you're below 530 and you get skulls, then you're going to find it very, very difficult to get the 100k, let alone do the Nightfall. Now we're at the boss, so you can see the shanks. Probably a lot of people won't know how this boss fight works, because most people get in Exodus, they just go to orbit anyway. So basically how this boss fight works is the shanks can control areas of the map with their electrical arc charge, and the boss goes in V's, I would say every third of his health. It used to be a lot more, but now they've reworked him so that he doesn't go in V's as much, so he's not as annoying. It's actually a good boss fight now. Since we have momentum on, I'm just running around often, killing adds when I can. There's some very good tether points coming up that you'll see our support class do. But for the first phase, it's just a couple of fallen vandals and shanks. So you don't want to be tethering on this phase so much. It's a waste of a tether. There's a bit of RNG as well, where the boss will turn up, where you can turn up anywhere at the map. But once we're on the next phase, this is where there's going to be a lot of void shields. You can't actually stand on top of there. I was trying to. But you'll know when it's the next phase as the arcs, the floor light up. That's a good tether right there, as it helps to take out the void shields on the servitors. As we remember, you have 2 guys with arc and only 1 guy with void. It's also just a good tether point in general, just to help clear the adds. Another thing as well, taking out the servitors as quick as can is really good, because they tether all the adds, so they make them immune. So that's another reason. You see Sleeper does really good damage on him. Probably be a way to bounce shot him, maybe hit him just before his feet. So another tether out as well, so it's the exact same spawn as the previous one. 2 servitors and a bunch of vandals with that. And we can start spamming our supers and stuff. Now we've taken him below a third, he should go in V's. Yeah, so he goes in V's every segment of his HP, so it's 3 times he goes in V's, roundabout. So I think then the last, like coming up to the last few phases, there's a lot of shanks and a lot of in V's. I think they're called marauders or something, like snipers. Yeah, so it's a good time to be supering on this phase and stuff like that. Also, whatever platform you defend him from, your priority is taking the shank, because once he does his arc move on the plate, you're kind of vulnerable. You can't run or jump like you normally would. So we're well over the 100k mark. We're less than 15 minutes, so these modifiers are certainly good. You wouldn't need to put a handicap on. We just put it on just to make certain, because we had never done it. We had no idea what the score would be like since it's the first time it's been up. And when the boss comes up, we can literally just melt him down and take it from here. There we go. So yeah, it's not a bad one for score at all. It's really easy actually. I think the terminus one is a lot harder than this. And Savathun's song is pretty basic because we know how that one runs. So yeah, Exodus is probably a good one for score, no doubt about it. But that was the 100k. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.